بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والعاقبة للمتقين والصلاة والسلام على إمام الأنبياء المرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه وبارك وسلم تسليما كثيرا ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا ما علمتنا وزدنا علما ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. We pick up on the story of Prophet Musa alayhi salam in Surah Al-Qasas, and we're in the 9th verse where Allah Ta'ala mentions وَقَالَتِ امْرَأَةُ فِرْعَوْنَ, and meaning, and when the wife of the Pharaoh, she said, أَقُرَّةُ عَيْنٍ لِي وَلَكَ, this will be the coolness of my eyes and your eyes. لَا تَقْتُلُوهُ, don't kill him. عَسَىٰ أَن يَنْفَعُنَا أَوْ نَتَّخِذَهُ وَلَدًا وَهُمْ لَا يَشْعُرُونَ, perhaps أن ينفعنا, he'll bring some benefit to us. أو نتخذه ولدا, or we can take him as a son. وهم لا يشعرون, but they were unaware of the reality. Prophet Musa alayhi salam, we see Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhuma, وقال ابن عباس وغيره رضي الله عنهم, mentions فكانت لفرعون يومئذ بنت ليس له ولد. He only at this point had a daughter, and he didn't have any child other. ليس له ولد غيرها, he didn't have a child other than her. وكانت أحب الناس عليه وكان لها كل يوم. We can move on from there. And she was the most beloved person to the Pharaoh. However, she had a type barasun shadid. She had the skin ailment. And this skin ailment that she had caused the Pharaoh to call the top doctors and the best people to tend to her. The Pharaoh was very much worried about her condition, and he was hoping to free her, and she eventually was cured. Now, this was his family. It was his wife, Asya radiallahu anha, and it was his daughter, and it was him. Now, one day, as they are together, we see that in one narration it mentions that إذا أقبل النيل بالتابوت بضربه الأمواج أو يضربه الأمواج, that his mother had sent him, as I mentioned last time, in this box, in this container, down the Nile River. And the waves pushed it until it sort of got caught on a tree. And at this point, the Pharaoh saw this, and he sent many people over to go try to see what happened. At this point, they retrieve it, and when they retrieve it, they bring forth what is clearly a child. Now, immediately, Asya radiallahu anha, she is overwhelmed. And she has fear. And she knows, khawfan mink, that she's fear of the Pharaoh, that he would what? He would kill Musa alayhi salam. So she turns to him and says, قُرَّةُ عَيْنٍ لِي وَلَكَ, he will be the coolness of my eyes and your eyes. لَا تَقْتُلُوهُ, don't kill him. When this was said, أَعَسَىٰ أَن يَنْفَعُنَا أَوْ نَتَّخِذَهُ وَلَدًا, maybe he'll bring us benefit, or we can take him as a child. At this point, the Pharaoh says something very interesting. He says that فَلَا حَاجَةٌ وَأَمَّا أَنَا, as for me, فَلَا حَاجَةٌ لِي فِيهِ, I have no need of him. So the Prophet ﷺ says, and this is mentioned in a few different books. Imam Qurtubi mentions this. It's mentioned in Kanzul Ummal. It's mentioned in a few different places. لو قال يومئذ هو قرة عين لي كما هو لك. And when she said, let's keep him. He was the coolness of my eyes and the coolness of your eyes. And he said, no, I have no need for him. In another narration, it mentions that he doesn't say قرة, he doesn't say فلا حاجة له فيه. Rather, what does he say? He says, لا لي. When she says قرة عين لك, for you as well, he says لا لي. And then it's mentioned ولو قال قرة عين لي كما هو لك. If he says that he will be my coolness like your coolness, in both narrations it mentions that what? لَهَدَاهَ اللَّهُ كَمَا هَدَاهَا. That Allah will have given her guidance just as him guidance that gave her guidance. That this moment when the Pharaoh turned away from a gift of Allah and turned away in dishappiness or unhappiness, of a gift from Allah, a blessing from Allah, and saw it with ill feeling rather than being accepting of it, Allah Ta'ala then he said, when the Pharaoh said, when she said, Asiyah says that this is the coolness of my eyes, in your eyes, he said, your eyes only, Allah made that come true. And we should all look in our lives and notice, when Allah sends blessings to us, first of all, are we able to see those blessings? Because the blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not always come in the same way that we assume it to come. Sometimes it'll come in hardship. Sometimes it'll come in ease. And sometimes punishment will come in ease. Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal rahimahullah, when the mihna came to him, the mihna was this huge test that he was afflicted with, such that he was tested on whether or not, and the scholars for the most part gave in on this. Not because they believed it, but because they were being persecuted so much. But when he was questioned, do you believe the Quran is the word of Allah or the creation of Allah? And the Mu'tazila, who were the rational philosophers, the rationalists, they said the Quran is the creation of Allah, which we don't believe. It's the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, uncreated. Ahmad bin Hanbal rahimahullah refused to give in. He was flogged. He was imprisoned. He went through some very grave torture. And people would tell him, just say it. You're allowed to say a word of untruth to get out of this difficulty. He says, yes, if I say it, I will know what I mean. But look at all those people outside the prison. They'll hear I said this and it will confuse their aqidah. I'm not going to cost their afterlife. Now, Imam Ahmad rahimahullah later, after Ma'mun, after, who else was there? Mutawakkil Billah, after all these other individuals, when finally one of the caliphs realizes that Mu'tasim Billah, he has two children, and when one of the caliphs realizes from his two children, the second one in particular, that this is wrong, and then they free Imam Ahmad. And now Imam Ahmad is given not only freedom, but they're actually trying to give him gifts like reparations. They feel really bad about what's happened. Imam Ahmad rahimahullah said, that was the bigger test for me than the imprisonments, the flogging, and all those things he went under. Why? Because at least then, because when you go through difficulty, remember Allah. When you go through ease, sometimes we forget Allah. And what happened to the Pharaoh? He was going through ease. And he forgot Allah. And he didn't see the blessing Allah brought to his doorstep. And so when Asiyah radiallahu anha said that قُرَّةٌ عَيْنٌ لِي وَلَكَ, and he says what? لَا حَاجَةَ لِي فِيهِ. And he said, لَا لِي, not for me. And the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned, لَوْ قَالَ يَوْمَئِذٍ هُوَ قُرَّةٌ عَيْنٍ لِي. If he on that day said that he's also a blessing, the coolness of your eyes, blessing for me, كَمَا هُوَ لَكِ, as he is for you, then Allah لَهَدَاهُ اللَّهُ كَمَا هَدَاهَا. Allah would have given him guidance. Now we continue. So she says that he will be the coolness of my eyes and the coolness of yours. لَا تَقْتُلُوهُ, don't kill him. It's been narrated that أنها قالت أتانا من أرض أخرى ليس من بني إسرائيل, that a man came at that point from Bani Israel. And it's narrated in a few different places, that a man came to the Pharaoh and he began to say that, I think that this is going to be the one who destroys you. So the Pharaoh actually had a little inclination. Some of the narrations mention that Musa alayhi salam actually grabbed the beard, Musa alayhi salam grabbed the beard of the Pharaoh and he pulled his beard. And the Pharaoh immediately began to recognize that this is going to be my enemy. Now some scholars say the Pharaoh used to lace his beard with jewels, so any baby would grab it. So the Asiyah radiallahu anha mentioned that, look, it's the way your beard looks. Present him something. Now this is a weak narration. In the weak narration it's mentioned that they brought him like a sweet dish, and they brought him some sort of heated coal, and he went to go reach for the sweet item to eat, and Jibreel alayhi salam pushed his hand towards the coal and he put it into his mouth and he burned his tongue. And that's why he has that speech impediment. And it's a weaker narration, and this Asir that says, see, he's such a child, he doesn't even understand something beneficial from harmful. How do you think he's going to destroy you? So Allah Ta'ala sets this entire plan into play. Now she doesn't know how truthful she was. Asa an yanfa'ana. He'll be of benefit to us. She was not a believer. And because of the message of Musa alayhi salam, she dies from the 4 perfect women on this earth. And when she's passing away, what does she say? Rabbi ibni li indaka baytan fil jannah. My Lord, build for me near you a palace in paradise. So here, all of a sudden, one dua comes true. He's going to be a benefit. And then nattakhidahu walada. And we'll take him as a son. And in fact, they did raise him as a son. And they loved him dearly. And in one narration it mentions that she named him Musa alayhi salam because the mu refers to al-ma, refers to that he was by the water, famu, and then the sa refers to the shajara, the tree that he was stuck on. So it's Musa, that's how that name came into play. Anyway, it's just some of the narrations mentioned within the books of Tafsir. وَهُمْ لَا يَشْعُرُونَ. They didn't recognize exactly who this man would be. They didn't recognize that he's going to be a source of guidance. They didn't recognize the source of benefit he would be. And they didn't recognize that he was going to be a prophet. For them, they just saw what? This weak child. So Allah Ta'ala brought to their doorstep their source of guidance, which came true for Asiyah radiallahu anha, but did not come true for the Pharaoh because he rejected this. Now when this happens, Allah continues, وَحَرَّمْنَا عَلَيْهِ الْمَرَاضِعَ مِنْ قَبْلِ. And we had prohibited upon him the women who gave milk from before. فقالت هل أدلكم على أهل بيت يكفلونه لكم وهم له ناصحون. And then at this point the sister of Musa alayhi salam steps in. Why does she step in? Because I'm going to just go back a verse before, go a few verses earlier. وأصبح فؤاد أم موسى فارغا. Now Musa alayhi salam's mother in the meantime, she's really upset. And what is this farigha that Musa alayhi salam's mother, asbaha, it literally means to wake up, but asbaha, her heart became empty. Now what does it become empty? Some of the scholars, they mention here that it becomes empty of just rational thinking of this moment, because she's so caught up in her worries. Some of the ulama, they say it became empty, or it forgot about the inspiration that Allah Ta'ala gave her. Don't grieve and don't worry, I'll take care of him. Some of the ulama, and then this is different statements, but you can understand this sort of a combination of all this, that her heart became empty, her mind became empty of the ability just to think in a very logical manner, because she was overwhelmed with now her son is going down this riverbank. Where is he going to go? So she tells her daughter that, and then mentions, إن كانت لتبدي به لولا أن ربطنا على قلبها لتكونن من المؤمنين. That had it not been that she was grasped, that she was overwhelmed by this emotion, that she would have been able to maintain this true iman. وقالت لأخته. So she says to her daughter, some of the scholars say her daughter's name is Maryam bint Imran. She tells Musa alayhi salam's sister, قصيه, follow him. فبصرت به, keep an eye on him. عن جنوب وهم لا يشعرون, follow him and just be side by side with this tabut that's sailing down. Why? Because we have to see what's going to happen to your brother, but at the same time make sure no one notices what's happening. So she's following and following, and now she gets the bad news. This child went into the home of the Pharaoh. The one person we're looking to turn him away from is the exact home into which he lands. And there's a deep lesson to know over here, that sometimes what we want and what we think is best, وَيَمْكُرُونَ وَيَمْكُرُ اللَّهُ وَمَكَرُوا وَمَكَرَ اللَّهُ وَاللَّهُ خَيْرُ الْمَاكِرِينَ. Allah's plan is the best plan. He's the best planner. So we might be thinking, take this way. Allah makes us take a different way. When Qaswa came to the gates of the Haram at Hudaybiyah, and now they're able to sidestep Khalid ibn Walid radiallahu anhu before he was Muslim, and they could pretty much make it in clear into Makkah al-Mukarramah and now perform Umrah, what happens? Allah makes Qaswa sit down. And the Sahaba wondering, why won't it move? Why won't it move? And they said, Qaswa has become dysfunctional. And he said, no, the Qaswa, this is not her habit. Rather, this is the Lord of the elephant that made him sit, making her sit as well. And then we see the good that came from it. And even the Treaty of Hudaybiyah, look at all those things that went against the logical approach of success for the believers, and all of those things they thought were bad became good for them. So here, the child is being led down a path that seems to be filled with destruction, but when we have full faith in Allah, and we listen to His commands, even if it seems to be problematic, that's when it's going to be best. And so now, وَأَصْبَحَ فُؤَادُ أُمِّ مُوسَى فَارِغًا إِنْ كَادَتْ لِتُبْدِي بِهِ لَوْلَا أَنْ رَبَطْنَا عَلَى قَلْبِهَا لِتَكُونَ مِنَ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ وَقَالَتْ لِأُخْتِهِ قُصِّيهِ فَبَصُرَتْ بِهِ عَنْ جُنُبٍ وَهُمْ لَا يَشْعُرُونَ وَحَرَّمْنَا عَلَيْهِ الْمَرَاضِعَ مِنْ قَبْلِ. She now is following the child, sees the child that's brought into the home of the Pharaoh. And now she's watching, and this is an actual spectacle that's happening. And what's happening at this moment is that the child is brought there. Some of the ulama, they mention that this child, and it's so interesting about how Allah Ta'ala did not let the mother of Musa alayhi salam let it be known that she's carrying a child. Some of the ulama mention that Musa alayhi salam and Harun alayhi salam were within this 1 year apart. So Harun alayhi salam was born the year that the child could not be killed, and Musa alayhi salam was born the year the child is supposed to be killed. And I mentioned this based upon the verse of in Quadri tubdi bi, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had made it such that she completely concealed. She concealed her pregnancy. Maybe she still had weight left over from Harun alayhi salam. She's lactating already for Harun alayhi salam. So no one could question, why is this child, like why is this woman bigger, or why is she lactating, etc. after giving birth? Because Harun alayhi salam was already in the picture. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in Qadri tubdi bi, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made it such that she doesn't show herself to be expecting with a new child. Rather, it just seems the remnants of the previous expectancy. And no one knew about it except for the daughter of Musa, the sister of Musa alayhi salam. And so at this point, she keeps the secret. Allah strengthens her belief, and now she turns to her daughter and says, follow your brother. وَحَرَّمْنَا عَلَيْهِ الْمَرَاضِعَ. She now gets to the palace, and she's seeing that person after person after person is called to give milk to Musa alayhi salam. And Musa alayhi salam was not accepting the milk of anyone. In fact, it's mentioned, أَنَّ مُوسَى مَكَثَ 8 لَيَالٍ لَا يَقْبُلُ ثَدْيًا, that he for 8 nights, he didn't drink milk from anyone. He didn't accept the milk of anyone. Now you can imagine a child that goes 8 hours without drinking, or 8 minutes when it's hungry without drinking. What must have been his state? So the whole palace is in upheaval, trying to get this kid to calm down. And Hazrat Musa alayhi salam is going through this, so now they become desperate. And so at this point, فَقَالَتْ, the sister of Musa alayhi salam, she sees that he's not accepting anyone, and she says, هَلْ أَدُلُّكُمْ عَلَىٰ أَهْلِ بَيْتٍ يَكْفُلُونَهُ لَكُمْ وَهُمْ لَهُ نَاصِحُونَ. Shall I not direct you to someone from my home who يَكْفُلُونَهُ لَكُمْ, who's going to raise him, who's going to take care of him, who's going to feed him, وَهُمْ لَهُ نَاصِحُونَ, and is from the ones who wish well for you. And so when she says this, and what the ulama they say, that لا يقصرون في إرضاعه وتربيته, that what she's saying is that this individual, he'll accept her milk and she'll take care of the child as if it's own child. Not just feed and run for the money. Not just feed and run and not take care of the child and raise it. She will do all of it. So when the Pharaoh hears this, some of the ulama at this point, they say, Ibn Jurayj, he mentions, Imam Suddi, he also, rahimahullah, they mention that when the sister Musa alayhi salam said this, أَخَذُوهَا وَقَالُوا إِنَّكِ قَدْ عَرَفْتِ هَذَا الْغُلَامِ فَضُلِّينَا عَلَىٰ أَهْلِهِ. That you must know this child before. So show us who this family of this child is. And she says, لَا أَعْرِفُهُ. I don't know this person. I just know a woman who's well-wishing for the king. Who wouldn't want good for the king? So that calms the Pharaoh down. Oh, okay, she's nasihun li, right? She wants good for me. Of course, I'm the Pharaoh. She would want good for me. They say, call her. And when they call her, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what did He guarantee? He says that if we go... Okay, now when we go back to the earlier part of the surah, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has now taken Musa alayhi salam, and He's taken him away from his mother, what does He say? Don't fear, don't grieve. Inna radduhu ilayki. I'm going to return him back to you. And it's going to feel like a long time. And the mother of Musa alayhi salam, farigha, she felt completely empty without her child. And what does Allah do? He doesn't return the child back to the mother just like that. She has the mother come. The mother gives milk. They don't know it's the mother. She's honored. She's hired by the Pharaoh. 1 gold coin a day paid to feed Musa alayhi salam. Full access to Musa alayhi salam. You raise the child if it's your kid. And now, not only was he returned to her, he was given to her in a better circumstance. Because the one who's going to kill him is the one who's protecting him. And the one who was dishonoring Bani Israel is the one who's honoring her. And the one who was starving out Bani Israel is the one who's paying her. So when Allah says He's going to give her back to Him, that there will be this reunion, He didn't even say in the same way it was before. Because when Allah takes something away, He returns it back better. When Ayyub alayhi salam lost his children and his wealth and his health, and temporarily his wife, Allah gave it all back and then a replicate copy. Because when Allah returns things back, He gives it back better. When you go through your difficulties in life and Allah gives you better, He's going to make the circumstance either better in this world or certainly better in the hereafter. And this is what the Prophet ﷺ is being informed over here. So Musa alayhi salam, وَهُمْ لَا يَشْعُرُونَ, they weren't even aware of everything that's happening. فَرَدَدْنَاهُ إِلَىٰ أُمِّهِ, that verily we return him back to his mother. كَيْ تَقَرَّ عَيْنُهَا, so he can bring coolness to her eyes. So now he's brought coolness to the eyes of Asya radiallahu anha. He's brought coolness to the eyes of the mother, Musa radiallahu anha. And he's given the coolness of the eyes to many people across Bani Israel. But the Pharaoh rejected it. وَفَرَضْنَاهُ إِلَىٰ أُمِّهِ كَيْ تَقَرَّ عَيْنُهَا وَلَا تَحْزَنَا, and he made it such that she would not worry. وَلِتَعْلَمَ أَنَّ وَعْدَ اللَّهِ حَقٌّ, and he was showing her, remember that promise I gave you, that inspiration, this is true. وَلَكِنَّ أَكْثَرَهُمْ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ, but most people, they don't see this. Now the majority of us, we remember Allah's promise is true, but we forget it time to time. And we have to remember Allah has promised believers success, even if there's temporary failure. And Allah has promised believers His happiness. Even in this world, we're not gaining our own personal happiness. And it's the ebbs and flows of this world. If it was all good, it'd be paradise, but we're not in paradise. And so, وَهُمْ لَا يَشْعُرُونَ, they didn't even see what was happening, and Allah Ta'ala reunited them. And Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, وَعْدُ اللَّهِ حَقٌّ, and then He fulfills this promise. Now Musa alayhi salam is being raised in the home of the Pharaoh, in his own home as well. She's able to have access to take him in and out of the kingdom, but as well as in the home of the Pharaoh. So he is now positioned like the prince of that community. وَلَمَّا بَلَغَ أَيْ مُوسَى أَشُدَّهُ, Musa alayhi salam is now being fed by his mother. He's being the tarbiyah of a mother of prophets. Not a mother of one prophet. She's a woman of inspiration. And she's mentioned in Quran. And she's the mother of 2 prophets, alayhim as-salam. And so now as she's being taken care of in the watchful eye of his mother, under the protection of Pharaoh, وَلَمَّا بَلَغَ أَشُدَّهُ, when he reaches أَشُدَّهُ. What's أَشُدَّهُ? There are different opinions amongst the ulama. Imam al-Kalbi, he's mentioned that al-ashudda ma bayna 18 sana ila 30 sana. That's going to be between 18 years and 30 years that he reaches this age. Mujahid rahimahullah and others, they say 33 sana, 33 years. But he's reached around, the majority opinion says around his mid-30s. Because ashuddahu, you'll see later why that this is the case, early 30s, this is the time that we are told that our bodies will be given this age in paradise. Is it literal? Potentially, but it is definitely at least metaphorical based upon the lesson. This is when your body reaches peak strength. Early 30s is peak strength. If you look at athletes of this world, when they succeed at that particular time, your mental capacity is still growing, and there's a sharpness. The mind is peaking at that point as well, but the mind can continue to grow because wisdom sinks in and other supportive causes as well, which we're going to go into in a moment. But he has now reached this age where he's in his early 30s approximately, and wastawa, and on top of giving him a strong body, also wastawa aqlahu, that he was given an advanced mind. Allah balanced him with body and with mind. And the mind reaches perfection around 40. It reaches its peak understanding around 40, and then other things occur there as well. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions, آتَيْنَاهُ حُكْمًا وَعِلْمًا. We didn't just give him knowledge. Because knowledge is one thing. Like what do the people say? Knowledge is knowing that a tomato is a fruit. What's wisdom? To know you don't put in a fruit salad. Right? That's knowledge versus wisdom. So he was given knowledge and wisdom. And you'll see what this means in a little bit. Wastawa, that he is now given wastawa wa ataynahu hukman wa ilma. And then Allah Ta'ala continues. وَكَذَلِكَ نَجْزِي الْمُحْسِنِينَ. And this is the way that we reward those who do good. Now, Jazayna Musa alayhi salam, yes, but this is just not Muhsin, it's Muhsinin. Because who's being referred to? Musa alayhi salam, yes, but his mother and his sister and the household that strove for perfection. So Allah Ta'ala rewarded Musa alayhi salam, yes, but he rewarded the mother. جزاء كذلك أي مثل ذلك الذي جزينا موسى وأمه على إحسانهما. That is rewarding the mother. Her ihsan, her willingness to submit to Allah is what caused all of this to go into motion. And so now we're all benefiting from this sacrifice that the mother of Musa alayhi salam made regarding her own son. Now, what's the lesson for us? We need to take dua from our parents. We need to take dua from our elders. Sometimes we're way too reliant upon our own capabilities. Our capabilities, they end here. It's the dua of someone of the past that propels you further. I'm nothing, I accept that. But there is knowledge that Allah blessed me with through my teachers. But it's someone's dua, my mom, my mother, my father, maybe a grandparent, maybe someone made dua. That dua hits, that I was able to go study. Now, did I make myself better? I have a lot of work to do. But any good that came is some dua from the past. Because I know my own laziness. I know my own incapacity. I would not be able to do this on my own. But this came from someone's dua connecting. So if anyone has your parents still alive, you go to them and seek dua. If your parents have passed away, go to their friends and seek dua. Go to the elders of the community and seek dua. Because they want well for you. And it's mentioned about her, Nasihun, she was a well-wisher. Now, وَدَخَلَ الْمَدِينَةَ عَلَى حِينِ غَفْلَةٍ مِنْ أَهْلِهَا فَوَجْدَ فِيهَا رَجُلَيْنِ يَقْتَتِلَانِ هَذَا مِنْ شِيعَتِي وَهَذَا مِنْ عَدُوِّي. One day what happens? He's walking across, he enters into the city, دَخَلَ أي موسى الْمَدِينَة, he enters the city, and this is now when he's reached a strong age. عَلَى حِينِ غَفْلَةٍ مِنْ أَهْلِهَا, at a time where the people were unaware. Meaning what? they were at a time of qaylula. It was right past the afternoon. The qaylula, question for you. من قال قال الله فقد كفر. من قال قال الله فقد كفر. Whoever says قال الله has surely disbelieved. Interpret it for me. But we say قال الله all the time. من قال قال الله فقد كفر. Well, what does that mean? من قال قال الله فقد كفر. Most people say من قال, whoever says قال الله, Allah said فقد كفر, has disbelieved. That's not true. If we read Quran, it's قال الله يا عيسى. We have to say it in Quran. We're not disbelievers. قال يقول means to what? To say. قال يقيل means to what? Take the afternoon nap. So it's a different verb form. But anyway, the qaylula, that's where qaylula comes from. But anyway, that's just a side. You know, you have students, you just fool around with them. Like when you say, rajulun karimun, a noble man, sa'adun karimun, whatever, zaydun kariman. Does that work? Not zaydun karimun, zaydun kariman. Ka, harf, jar, reem, like a deer, right? Anyway, that's what we, sometimes with our students, we do this, they're on their toes. But anyway, let's get back to this. So now, they're in their qaylula time. The qaylula is the afternoon nap. Post dhuhr, there is this small window that if you take this 10-minute nap, it resets you. And the people, communities of the past, used to take advantage of this for more than 10 minutes. Why? Because for them, this is a time in which they would rest and seek protection from the heat of the sun. So now, دخل المدينة, and then على حين غفلة من أهلها. Most of the people, they are busy in their homes and they're sleeping. Why? Because the majority of people are trying to seek protection from the heat. At this point, he sees two people. Allah Ta'ala narrates about this, that he saw فَوَجَدَ فِيهَا رَجُلَيْنِ يَقْتَتِلَانِ. Two people fighting each other. هَذَا مِنْ شِيعَتِي. This is from his group, Bani Israel. وَهَذَا مِنْ عَدُوِّي. This is from the Pharaoh's group. فَاسْتَغَاثَهُ الَّذِي مِنْ شِيعَتِي. The one who was from his group, he did istighatha. Help me, help me, help me. And when he did this, عَلَى الَّذِي مِنْ عَدُوِّهِ, against the one who looked like he was harming him, فَوَكَزَهُ مُوسَى فَقَضَى عَلَيْهِ. Musa alayhi salam went to go stop him. فَوَكَزَ. Wakaza is such an interesting word in the Quran. Because wakaza in the Arabic language over here, it means to hit. But Allah doesn't say daraba, wakaza. Because over here, Musa alayhi salam, one, did not consciously go try to hit this individual. And number two, even the word wakaza, like you see over here, that it sounds like, Ibn Mas'ud radiallahu anhu, he mentions that, that when one person hits with like a closed hand, it's like a punch almost. But it just sounds like it's abusive, wakaza. There's certain words of the Quran where Allah uses the wording that sounds abusive. He did something to stop him. When he went to stop him, he had no idea that he was that strong. So when he does this, فَقَضَى عَلَيْهِ, that man passes away upon the strike. Musa alayhi salam sees that he goes to stop a man from wronging another man, but in his willingness to help the one on his side, he accidentally kills the one who was opposing his own tribe mate, for lack of better words. So Musa alayhi salam said, هَذَا مِنْ عَمَلِ الشَّيْطَانِ. This is a clear act from Satan. إِنَّهُ عَدُوٌّ مُضِلٌّ مُبِينٌ. He is one who is your enemy, and he wants to lead you astray. And he's a clear one who wants to lead astray. قال, so he says, رَبِّ إِنِّي ظَلَمْتُ نَفْسِي فَاغْفِرْ لِي. My Lord, I have wronged myself, forgive me. فَغَفَرَ لَهُ. Allah forgave him. Because people say, well, how did Musa alayhi salam sin? He didn't sin. He didn't consciously try to hurt the man. He tried to stop him, either with an open hand slap or a punch, jam' al-yad, either he closed it or he put the hand together, try to stop him. But he's stronger than he thought. And then so he accidentally kills the man, but he recognizes right away. And you see the tawheed of Musa alayhi salam. This is from Satan. He doesn't attribute it to a non-religious reality. And then he turns to Allah Ta'ala because he was already on tawheed. Because the mother of Musa alayhi salam already gave him the tarbiyah. He said, this is na'amal al-shaytan. This is from the way of shaytan. ظَلَمْتُ نَفْسِي فَغْفِرْ لِي فَغَفَرَ لَهُ. Allah forgives him. إِنَّهُ هُوَ الْغَفُورُ الرَّحِيمُ. He is the one who forgives and most merciful. رَبِّ بِمَا أَنْعَمْتَ عَلَيَّ فَلَنْ أَكُونَ ظَهِيرًا لِلْمُجْرِمِينَ. And he turns to Allah Ta'ala and he makes tawbah. That my Lord, if it's, and people ask the question, well, how do you know who to turn to? This is fitrah. Fitrah is recognizing at that moment who is Allah. He recognized Allah. He didn't need to believe in Pharaoh, Rabbukum al-A'la. He didn't need to believe in that. He knew the Pharaoh was not God. He lived, and one of the beauties of him growing up in the home of the Pharaoh is to see the deficiencies of the Pharaoh. And then so he knows for sure, even though he's claiming that he's God, that this is not God. So Musa alayhi salam, he seeks protection and he recognizes the act of shaitan. He seeks forgiveness in Allah. Allah forgives him, and then because Allah is the most forgiving, and then he says, أَنْعَمْتَ عَلَيَّ فَلَنْ أَكُونَ ظَهِيرًا مِنَ الْمُجْرِمِينَ. Now he turns to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and then he says that, if you don't forgive me, and Ibn Abbas mentions that this wahiran lil-mujrimeen means that he's going to be from the kafirin. That your forgiveness and your guidance will save me from being a people of disbelief. But now Musa alayhi salam, he's in a bad situation. He has now struck a man who is not only just a man, he was a policeman, a politician from the Pharaoh's court. So now word is spreading, someone killed this man from the Pharaoh's court, from his law enforcement. Who is it? And remember, most people were asleep at this time. So they have to go based off rumors and trying to piece things together. And Musa alayhi salam's growing further afraid of what's going to happen. So next week we go into what happens, inshallah, with Musa alayhi salam from this point. Wa akhiru da'wan, alhamdulillah rabbil alamin.